that can lead your project straight into failure. Project management is a high stakes game, folks, and making mistakes can be very costly. So that's why it's crucial to be aware of the common pitfalls that can derail any project. And in this video, we are sharing the top 10 mistakes the project managers can make. So we will give you the lowdown on how to avoid them.
Because you're a happy customer and all these things happen, right?
That's a pretty significant issue, right?
Right.
So
you define the project scope in writing outset. So you're documenting
most important.
And the second part is implement a formal change request process for any alteration to the original scope.
Understand that they need to trust their team, that they can do their jobs, and focus on being a leader, not a dictator that way.
Exactly, Pramesh.
Welcome everyone to another edition of Tech Samvad, the podcast where we break down the world of technology, management, and innovation. And today we are diving into a super important topic for anyone managing projects that way. Now, whether you are a seasoned project manager or just starting out, today's episode is a must listen for you that way. So we are going to talk about the top 10 mistakes that project managers make in their different projects. So mistakes that can lead your project straight into failure. Project management is a high stakes game, folks, and making mistakes can be very costly. So that's why it's crucial to be aware of the common pitfalls that can derail any project. And in this video, we are sharing the top 10 mistakes the project managers can make. So we will give you the lowdown on how to avoid them. When project managers make those mistakes, understand that it is not just their projects that suffer, but it's also their team, their stakeholders, and their reputation that suffers. So one small mistake can actually send the whole project out of control, leading to delays, budget blowouts, and disappointed clients, of course. So it is not just the project that's affected, it's all the project manager's career. So making mistakes can damage your credibility, erode trust with your team, and even cost you your job, right? So in this fast-paced, high-pressure environment, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of launching a new project. But if you don't take the time to plan, prioritize, and execute the things in the correct fashion, then you are setting yourself up for failure. And it is not just about the project itself, it's like for all the people involved also, right? So when project managers make mistakes, it's their team and everyone who actually suffers that. So let's make sure that we actually look into it and hear what we have to say. So let's get started. I am Pramesh, and joining me is my co-host Shahid.
Hello, everyone. So we are going to dive in on a very crucial topic, which is very crucial for our project managers. And the topic is a common mistake that project management community faces, which derails our projects. So before we dive into the full list of issues, concern, or mistakes, whatever you want to call it, let's talk about the number one mistake that project managers make, which is if you commit that mistake, right, guarantees your project is going to fail for sure, right? So let's look at the number one mistake.
Absolutely, Shalin. So I think one crucial mistake that project managers make, and that puts them in the path of failure, is the lack of clear communication. Communication breakdowns can take a project from smooth sailing to a complete disaster. So without clear communication, teams can misunderstand their roles. They can misunderstand deadlines and can like other expectations become completely misaligned, right? So it is like trying to build a house without sharing the blueprint with the builders. That's not going to happen, right? So we have been on projects that have gone off the rails, and the truth is, like, often because of these common pitfalls. If we had known these earlier, then maybe like some of the things that we made a mistake, we could have corrected that.
Mm-hmm.
But to avoid communication breakdowns, like, project managers should establish clear communication channels and protocols at the project's beginning stage itself. So regular team meetings are very important. Utilizing project management software and encouraging open dialogue. I think these are the three things which are very crucial for the project.
You're right, Ganesh. And see, what happens when the blueprint is not clear? Let's understand it first, right? So your start is going to be delayed. You will face scope creep issue. Your budget is going to be overrun. And ultimately, you are going to have unhappy customer or client, right? Even the stakeholders also, they will be happy with you. So this is another crucial mistake, is the absence of a detailed plan, right? So I mean, if your plan is not very detailed enough, then this is another second crucial mistake our project managers commit, right? So many project managers launch into projects without a comprehensive roadmap, leading to ambiguities in objectives and even budgets, timelines, and team roles also, team members' roles also, right? So when managers fail to communicate effectively, it creates a lot of confusion. It causes delays and force us to make mistakes, right? It's
Right.
amazing that how such a simple thing can have such a huge impact. So think about it, right?
Hmm.
See, but effective communication is about more than just sending emails or holding meetings. It is about actively listening, clarifying the expectation or setting the right expectation and keeping everyone on the same page for our defined objective.
That's very true, Shalin. So, if we give our listeners an example how the like this has played out in the real
Mhm.
world, I think then the prime example is the Denver International Airport baggage
Yeah.
system. That debacle that was caused that time. The project aimed for efficiency but faced repeated setbacks, and due to the lack of a clear plan, there was no progress that was made. Right. So this resulted in technical issues, budgeting issues, and ultimately cost for more than it was anticipated and budgeted for, right? So that's a very costly mistake. So to avoid this pitfall, it is necessary that we establish clear communication channels and protocols at the start, as we said earlier. Hold regular team meetings, like that's very important. Discuss the challenges and updates that have been done, and incorporate and change accordingly. Utilize PMIS software, like they say, like project management, like IS, informative solution software. Encourage open dialogue and tailor your communication systems to style to different stakeholders, because every stakeholder is different. Ensuring clarity and avoiding technical jargon is very important, because we don't understand that we may understand technology and everything. Everyone, like stakeholders, don't understand that. So that's why it is important to avoid those challenges.
Right, Ramesh. See, and if we pay attention here, so the solution which we talk about is to embrace standardized project management methodologies. So it's very crucial or critical to create a comprehensive plan at the outset and regularly review and adjust it to reflect project's current state and what will be our future trajectory of the project. That's very
Yeah, that
important.
makes sense, Shalin. It's about being proactive than reactive, right?
Absolutely, Ramesh. And see, another key aspect is setting clear project goals.
Oh yeah.
So, as a project manager, you need a clear goal to coordinate with your team and assess progress effectively. So, this is very critical step. So, how you want to explain it to me? So,
If you think about it, they are basically we have to follow the SMART framework, right? So specific, be measurable. The goals should be SMART.
Mhm.
So basically, they should be specific, they should be measurable, then
Achievable.
achievable, relevant,
Mhm.
and time bound. So it's also very crucial to involve key stakeholders in the goal setting process to ensure alignment that way. And that way, involve stakeholders in goal setting process to ensure alignment. Document the goals and objectives clearly in the project charter, because we've time and again said that project charter is very important and often overlooked part of project management. So regularly review and reaffirm goals with the team and all the stakeholders. And other thing is Shalin, use KPIs to measure progress towards your objectives. So these Shalin, these are very it seems like many of these mistakes can be avoided without proper planning, right? And communication. So, what about risk management? I have seen that another area where project managers often stumble is when project goals are vague or ambiguous, right? So, it's impossible to define success that way. So, how can you hit a target if you don't know what it is? So, clear goals and objectives give you team direction, motivation, and a sense of purpose. So, without them, you're just spinning your wheels, right?
Absolutely right, Pramod. So, without appropriate um, risk management or inadequate risk management is another critical mistake, right? So, so many project managers underestimate the importance of risk management, and they treat it as a one-time activity. So that's the biggest problem. So this is, I will say this is one of the popular recipe for failure. So pay attention to it.
Yeah, so if we say these risk management PMs improve their approach, how do they improve the approach to risk management? So basic thing is we need to enhance risk management process. So project managers should conduct thorough risk assessment at the start of the project and regularly throughout its life cycle. That is a continuous process. It's not a one-time process. So they should prioritize risks based on the potential impact and likelihood of occurrence. And like we have said earlier, also sometimes accepting the risk rather than just mitigating also makes sense. So when project managers ignore risks, they ignore reality. Every project has risk, and it is the project manager's job to identify, access, and assess and mitigate them. So denial is not a strategy. It's a recipe for disaster that way. So shall you like to improve risk management, conduct thorough risk management like we said, prioritize risks based on the potential impact and likelihood of occurrence, develop detailed contingency plans for high risk and high priority projects, and assign team members to specific risks so that they can monitor and report any changes to that. And last but the least is like integrate risk management into your regular project review processes. So, Shalin, like what are the other common pitfalls that you have seen?
See, another is which is very crucial is I would say how to manage or failure to manage your scope creep, right? So this occurs when project boundaries expand without proper control. That causes scope creep, right? So this cause your budget overrun. This cause your deadline misses. This cause your unhappy customer, and all these things happen, right?
So
And
that's a pretty significant issue, right?
right.
So if we talk about how can project managers keep scope creep in check, basically it is essential to clearly define the project scope in writing at the outset, right? It's all about putting that in the form of documentation in project charter and everything where you document it. So implement a formal change request process also for any alteration to the original scope, which is also very crucial. So project managers should educate stakeholders about the impact of scope changes on timelines and also on the budgets for that matter. And be prepared to say no, because what happens is like we accept things because the customer is saying that. But if you see that and then don't deliver the project at the end, customer is going to be very mad at you. So explain them why it is necessary that you don't take it right now, or ask them to prioritize things. If this goes in, something goes out. So something has to give in. Like I think last time you were talked about fitting a 10-pound project, 10-pound potatoes in a 5-pound bag, right?
Right.
So I think all these are very important things, right, Shalin?
Absolutely, Pramesh. So, see, let's understand what to do to manage your scope effectively. So, let me share some summarized bullet point here how we need to handle it. So, number one is you clearly define the project scope in writing at the outset. So, you're documenting it.
Most important.
The second part is implement a formal change request process for any alteration to the original scope, which is your
And
baseline.
Shalin, like many times people actually don't do this proper, right?
Right.
They may document it, but they may not have a change request process, which is cause for failure too.
And then third point is educate your stakeholders about the impact of scope changes on your timelines, on your budget, and your resource need, utilization, everything. So, and the third we already talked. The fourth, another important point is I'm gonna regularly review the project scope against the original one.
Yes,
With your
very
stakeholders.
important.
And the fifth critical one is be prepared to say no to requests that fall outside of the agreed upon scope, right? So we need to see there are two types of strategy, Pramesh. So if some project managers I found that in my experience they are strong enough to say no. Some project managers who are little hesitant to say no. So what they can do is they can create some analysis and share with their stakeholders and leaders that hey, if we are going to entertain this change, what will be the impact? And put in front of your leaders and stakeholders, right? That's also another way to educate them, and then you can say.
I think, Shannon, like what you said is absolutely right. I think what that happens more like when you are new, right? You are not able to say no to people. But as you
Right.
actually gain experience, then you also like start feeling that, okay, I can say no or something. Like you actually learn that, I think, on the process. So that's why like it's very important for new people to understand that saying no is very important. And yeah,
One
good.
more thing, Ramesh, I want to highlight. So let's not also forget about the resource management. So,
Oh, yes.
so mismanaging resources, whether it is a personal, it is a time related or budget related, can severely impact your project success. So
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
need to balance all aspects.
And when project managers fail to allocate resources correctly, it
Mhm.
leads to bottlenecks, right? It leads to delays and it leads to burnouts. So, because people have to complete that task. So it's not just about having the right people on the team, it's about giving them the right tasks, the right tools, and the right support that they need. So, tell me one thing, Shali, like how can project managers improve their resource management?
See, again, everything is comes through a proper planning. Again, enhance your resource management aspect. What project managers should conduct is a thorough resource planning. And, and when we need to do thorough resource planning at the beginning of our project, regularly monitor. It's not like that you just did a resource planning and check mark done, then you're happy and relaxing. No. So you need to regularly monitor your resource utilization also against your planning. So using resource management tools to track your allocation and identify any potential bottleneck, if you have any, is very crucial actually. And it is also very important to balance workload to prevent burnout and maintain productivity. So that's
Yeah,
also very
that's a
important.
great advice, Shalin. So before we wrap up, here is one final mistake we would like to highlight. I think neglecting stakeholder management is another crucial mistake. So failing to identify and manage all stakeholders can lead to unexpected opposition right now. So lack of support uh, and project derailment. When project managers fail to manage stakeholders effectively, they're inviting trouble basically.
Hmm.
Have needs and they basically we have to separate their needs from their wants and expectations, and it's your job to meet them. Communication, collaboration, and compromise are the key to keep stakeholders happy and out in your side that way, right? So resource management we already talked about, stakeholder management we talked about. So Shalin, what is there anything else that we need to think about?
No, you're right, Ramesh. See what project managers should do. They should conduct a comprehensive stakeholder analysis at the project outset itself. So, developing a stakeholder management plan that outlines communication strategy. I mean, because your communication strategy will be different for different stakeholders, right? So outline your communication strategy for each group is crucial, and then regular engagement with the stakeholders to keep them informed and address their concern if they have any is very vital. It's key to success here. We need to understand, and also see to enhance your stakeholder management. What we need to do is conduct a comprehensive stakeholder analysis at the project outset and then develop a stakeholder management plan and that outline communication strategies for each group. So
And
these are the key.
like regularly, we need to also engage with stakeholders to keep them informed and address their concerns, right? And also, being proactive in managing stakeholder expectations is very important because if you are reactive, then that's a problem. And Shalin, like use we have to use stakeholder feedback also to inform project decisions and adjustments that we need to take. Many times, like we actually fail to do that. And another mistake is failure to prioritize. Don't you think so? Because
Definitely.
when project managers try to do too much, they end up doing nothing actually. So prioritization is about focusing on most critical tasks and the ones that will make the biggest impact that way, right? It's not about being busy. It's about being effective that way, right?
Definitely, Pramesh. And one more aspect, Pramesh, we should discuss here is about having a contingency plan.
Yeah.
So when project managers fail to plan for the unexpected event, basically they are quoting disaster. So that's a clear problem. So stuff happens, definitely mistake happens. Sometimes things goes out. So and when it does, so what we need to do is we need to be ready and we need to handle it effectively. So a contingency plan is not just nice to have; it is must to have a plan and very critical for your project.
And that is right, Salin. But one thing I have seen a lot is about also project managers trying to like micromanage. So that is actually a bigger problem too, because when project managers micromanage, they're not just controlling; they're actually suffocating the team. They're stifling innovation and creativity and teamwork for that matter. So they need to understand that they need to trust their team, that they can do their jobs, and focus on being a leader, not a dictator that way.
Exactly, Pramesh. And we need to understand one more important aspect is how to delegate tasks, right? So when project managers fail to delegate, they are not just overworking themselves, but also they are underutilizing their team. So team
Hmm.
utilization is also very important, right? And delegation is not just about dumping tasks on someone else's head. It is about empowering your team to take the ownership and grow and utilizing your team's talent, utilizing your teams on their skill set, on their strength of skill set, basically. That's how you delegate, right?
Yeah, and Shalin, like another issue is not learning from mistakes, right? Because when project managers fail to learn from their mistakes,
Hmm.
they are doomed to repeat them. So mistakes are an opportunity to grow, to learn and to improve that way, right? Don't waste them. Use them to become a better project manager. Of all the project managers mistakes make, one of the most critical one is like the failure to prioritize, like you said. So, but like to our listeners, remember effective project management is not like just coming and doing something. It involves careful planning, clear communication, proactive risk management. We talked about scope control, efficient resource allocation, and stakeholder engagement. So avoiding these common mistakes, you can significantly improve your chances of project success that way.
Well said, Ramesh. And it is also important to note that effective project management is an ongoing process of your learning aspect, adapting aspect, and improving aspect, right? So I will say don't be discouraged if you encounter challenges, and use them as an opportunity to refine your approach and come up with a plan to mitigate all these things. That's how you will grow in project management.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, Shalin. So in conclusion, these 10 things that we have talked about and which are the common pitfalls, they are like really avoidable mistakes, right? By being aware of these mistakes, you can avoid them and set yourself up for project success that way, right? So remember, like awareness is the first step to improvement. So we hope that this discussion has provided valuable insights to you and will help you navigate the complex world of project.
Definitely. So for our users, thanks for watching us, and we would love to hear from you. Let's share your thoughts about what is the biggest mistake you have made on the project and how did you learn from it, right? So because learning is more important, again, we keep emphasizing it. And please share your experiences in the comments below. Don't forget to tune in to our next video for more project management tips and tricks. And again, thank you all for tuning in, and the best of luck for your project management work. And hopefully you will get very exciting projects to happen.
So thank you folks for tuning in. Until next time, stay focused, keep innovating and keep on doing tech somewhere. So thank you and goodbye.
Bye.